I mean, I read through that one book that she was obsessively reading through. I think it's just to say, I think it's kind of a trip that you started particularly different in this case. Nothingness was the start of it. And it's like, you know, you can't really always take credit for something that comes through you. And it kind of you know what I'm saying? It's fucking weird that that's the first time that you approach something like that, and then this is what happened. Yeah, that makes sense. It's cool. Yeah, it's funny because you have, I think that Maureen wants to at once be entirely invisible and at the same time really seen. And I think really struggles with that, and I think that that's pretty much everyone right now. It's like even the most out there people, I don't think that there can't be 100% true. And even the ones like, you know, I don't hide anything. I don't have any public social media things that I, you know, engage with, but I ultimately want to be seen. It's just that when you can't, it's weird. It's like we think we have more control over that now than we've ever had because we have it in our hands, but we have none. I don't know, like, you have this weird preoccupation with other people that is like so unbelievably distracting. Like not a whole lot of, you know, I feel like much cooler, productive, rad things would be happening. I mean, I sound ridiculous. I sound like really obvious and like, you know, everyone says this. I sound like an old person, but it's like we would be doing way cooler shit if it's so time consuming, you know. But I don't feel, it's weird. There are two sides to each, you know, we stalk each other. I stalk people. I get stalked. We all are obsessively, you know what I mean? So it's weird. It's like, you know, the whole movie, she's struggling with a serious like identity crisis because she's two very separate versions of a person, and that's not a bad thing. It's just hard to sort of contend with as a, you know, younger person or something. And yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah, what do you think about the whole surveillance thing?
It's no, I completely agree with what you just said. I mean, what I think is, and what is interesting in any art form, and especially in film, is more questioning reality rather than finding answers. And I think that questioning also means dealing with ambivalence, dealing with contradiction. I think any kind of path of understanding the modern world has to be dialectic in a way or another. So it has to include one thing and the other. Movies don't function with clear answers. But of course, where I agree with your question, and it certainly connects with the film, it's that certainly this notion of surveillance and how it's so strong and powerful in modern culture is one of the issues in the film, how we deal with it. You know?
Also, you're totally alone when you're doing it, and it gives you this false like impression that you're connecting or something, or that like I think the only like the base desire of it is to be like closer to other things, and so I can change myself to then get closer to other things, and I can do research to make sure that I do that properly, and I can like cultivate my taste based on knowing everything and how everyone is, and now I can be what I need to be to get close. But this literally, like, you know, it's like Maureen's interacting with something, whatever, on his phone, and it's some of the like the most like my heart started racing, like some of the sexiest shit I've done on screen. I'm alone. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh my God. And I was like, that is crazy. That's what people do all the time. Like that's insane. It's just such massive disconnection, yet you're just fabricating a wonderful reality. So that's not less real. It's just perception. It's weird.
Yeah, I do it myself.
Yeah. We're like intrinsic collaborators, honestly. It goes much deeper than you all might think. You got it. It's a jacket and a vest and pants. I have a stylist, and she's rad. She's really talented. But I like choose my shit. I don't like get dressed by someone. But you know, this isn't mine. Like we just borrow this stuff and go thanks, and then we give it back, and it's like, you know.
Who does it belong
various companies, yeah, that they will be getting this stuff back. Oh gosh, fuck, I don't know. No. That's funny. Good question.
Yeah, one more. Yeah.
Either of you, oh, perfect. If either of you believe in the paranormal, and whether or not you do or not, if you think you've had an experience.
Ooh, the truth can be told.
I love when he starts talking about this stuff. Like, we don't like have many conversations on set, but like late at night, like, have you seen a ghost? Like, is that why you did this? Do you believe in ghosts? I definitely said that.
I think we all, no, I mean, the answer is I think we all do. I think we all do. I mean, you know, it's we're all trying to. I mean, we all know that what we see that's solid around us is not the totality of reality. I mean, that whatever we perceive of the world belongs to our thought process. That we process it. That you know what one sees is not the same thing as another person sees because it's filtered by its experience. I think that. It's not just that most of human cultures have believed in communication with another world, possibly with the dead. I think that dead do live through us. I think that's what the process of mourning is about. That we have some dialogue with the deceased person, anyone who had the experience, you know, lived through that. So I think that ghost is just a code word for that. And I think paranormal is also another word for that. I mean, to me, paranormal is extremely normal. It describes what's happening, you know, in my thoughts. I mean, I do think a lot of stuff that are like paranormal, right? And we all do in a way or another. So it's so that's what I was trying, you know, and even trying to put images on it. Why not? Because you know the images that are created by our fears, by our anxieties, or by our hopes. They are scary and they are happening within us. I think it's very basic. It's the part of it's part of any life, and it could be or should be part of any story. Even movies, you know, even movies that are normal, the way the viewer watches them brings in paranormal. I think.
Kristen, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I think he articulated that better than I would ever. And I agree, like, you know, it's that thing, if it's real for you, then what the hell else is there? And like, there's so much that we don't see that, you know, we know to be true. And so like, how could you apply it? You know what I mean? I think it's kind of self-protective, like a reduction of what it is by saying like, do you believe in ghosts or not? Do you see them? Have they touched you? It's like, well, what else doesn't touch you that exists? You know? And like, I don't know what the fuck energy is, whatever. Like our thing, there's something that doesn't go away. And whether I'm making that up or I'm actually being left with like some like, residual debris. I feel people fucking intrinsically, like it's something, you know what I mean? And I think that I think it leaves shadows, and yeah.
And I think, you know, it's also, it has to do with the fact that we live in very materialistic societies, and the result of the materialism, increased materialism, is that more and more people have to hold to relate to something that takes them away from that materialism, that protects them from that materialism. You call it meditation, you call it Buddhism, you call it Scientology or whatever. You know, it's something that's extreme, that's generated by modern society, and I think in that sense it's an important and exciting and inspiring question, you know, for contemporary artists.
Thank you very much, everybody, and thanks you guys.
Thank you.